This is the shore on 88.4 and the waves keep crushing in. Today with the lovely band Amity Affliction from Australia. So I'm here at the Astra at the most psychedelic backstage room I have seen so far. So do they treat you well on tour so far?
In Europe, always.
Yeah?
Yeah. Not so much the UK, but in Europe for sure.
Why not the UK? Hey?
I don't know. Yeah, just how it is.
Is it the food? But you can't say much.
Yeah, I don't know. They don't. I don't know. It's just how it is. They barely give you water, and yeah, the end.
But are you allowed to write your own rider? Like, I want this and this and this.
You can give it a shot. Yeah, so you can give it a crack, but good luck to you. But yeah, Europe's great. Germany's great. All the venues here look after artists. It's good. It's nice.
How was it growing up in Australia? What was your first band?
First band was Guns N' Roses. The first band I really liked, because my mum had become a Christian, and they told her to throw out all her music, so she didn't have any music for me.
But you use on your last album and in your videos lots of references to Christianity.
Christianity?
No, but the church, the wake, then the children choir.
Yeah, but that's just imagery. It's just nice imagery.
Huh.
It's got nothing to do with God or Christianity. It's not for me. Really, organized religion is just fucking stupid.
What was your first band?
My first band? The
Yeah.
first band I listened to, or the first band
No,
I was in?
band you were in.
Right. We were called Love Like a Knife, and it was like a punk band, like yelling, fast, like punk hardcore kind of early AFI influence sort of music.
Like NoFX and stuff.
No, like early AFI, like fast and angry, and yeah.
Did you so you grew up as a punk?
Yeah, when I was younger, like into SoCal punk and like NoFX and Lagwagon and Pennywise, all those bands, you know, No Use for a Name, No Fun at All, etc. The whole range of bands from back then.
So not so much the political grindy punk.
No, not really. I mean, that was always. I like what they're saying, but I don't like the way it's delivered. So it just wasn't for me. Like I don't think you need to like something just because of the message, or dislike something just because of how it sounds, kind of thing. So I didn't like the way it sounded, so I didn't listen to it. But for sure, I've got friends that loved it, and Aaron is actually a massive like Leftover Crack fan and all that kind of shit. But yeah, I don't know. It's fun to listen to from time to time, but it just wasn't something that drew me in so much when I was younger.
Did you start write poetry first, or was that with the band?
I wrote poetry from when I was like 12 or something. I started writing that.
Can you recite one? I can recite one too.
No, I don't learn them. I write them and then move on.
That's a trick question. What's the first song you start tonight?
Tonight?
Yeah.
I Bring the Weather With Me.
So what's the first two lines?
I bring the weather with me.
No, 2 lines.
It's time to lay my head down. I can hear the weeping song, which is the Nick Cave reference.
Yeah. Nick Cave spent a lot of time in Berlin, no?
Yes, he did.
Did you?
Have I?
Yeah.
No, not so far. In and out on tour. He spent a lot of time here because it was bohemian and full of heroin, so it's not the same.
Well, so was David Bowie, so was Iggy Pop.
Heroin.
Berlin is really fancy.
Heroin. Sensing a theme. It's just it's an art city, so it's full of culture, you know. It's very multicultural as well, so you can come here and you've got everything from like classical music all the way to crust punk.
You don't have that. You don't have that in
Where I live? I grew up in the country.
Yeah, and now you live in
the country still.
Still.
At the beach, but it's like the country kind of thing. It's not a metropolitan area.
Did you choose that on purpose?
Yeah, I have a family and I like the ocean, so it's better for the kids to grow up there than in a city, and I like it. I see the world anyway, so it's not like I need to be somewhere where I'm exposed to different cultures on a daily basis, because that's my life regardless. So it's it's, if I were stationary, I would consider moving somewhere else, but I'm not.
Huh. So, do you think are you sad that punk is dead?
Punk is not dead.
Well, in the rebel sense, is it?
Is it? I mean, there are people still still protesting around the world. I think that's bullshit. That's
but not in the music.
What do you mean? There's plenty of protest music. Architects released their last 2 albums of protest music. Let Live are releasing protest music. There's protest music popping up everywhere. There's, I don't. Why do people say punk is dead? That's like the same fucking jaded people that say metal is dead, or this is dead, that's dead, fashion's dead, street's dead, graffiti is dead. Fuck off, man. It's like everything changes. The way it's delivered has changed, and that's that.
Okay.
I think it's bullshit to say it's dead because people might not be living in a fucking squat and not showering and politically protesting by stealing their shit. Like, there are different forms and different levels of protest, and I don't think that singling out probably the least effective way of doing it as the most punk is really like, what is that? Why would you say that? You know what I mean? Like, explain to me why the least effective way of doing it to the smallest minority of people is the most punk way to do it.
I asked that to every band.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy.
It's alright.
I'm happy with the question.
Yeah. I'm not saying like fuck you. I'm just saying that
it wasn't even my opinion.
Yeah, that is an opinion held by a lot of people, and I think it's bullshit.
Huh. How did you get your first record company?
The first one?
Yeah.
We met them at a show, and it was small. We were on Unified before they were called Unified. They were called Boomtown, and we just met them at a show, and then we put out a release with them, and then they are also our management, and they started approaching labels before we put out Youngbloods. But it took basically no one cared. We've had pretty much a solid career of people thinking we weren't going to be successful. So no one wanted it. No one wanted to sign us. Roadrunner said they would sign us, but the deal was really, really bad. So it took a year of negotiating, and then we got offers. As soon as other labels heard Roadrunner wanted us, then we started getting offers from other labels, but we'd already signed. So Roadrunner were the only ones that would deal with us. So the options were very limited. That's how we got Roadrunner. But they've been good, they're a good label.
What was the last gig you went to?
I went to see someone play.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Nas. I'm pretty sure it was Nas, and it was like a year and a half ago or something. I don't go out to shows. Where I live is not near the city. It's 2 hours from a city. There's no music there that I care for anyway. There's like folk music and like hippie music that is not for me. I don't want to go to metal shows because I'm around this constantly, so it's too loud. I'm old and I've got a baby, and I just want to be at home with him and my wife and my other 2 kids and just...
Moment. Or do they all live with you on the countryside? Does your band all live on the countryside with you?
No, I live in Noosa. So Noosa is like the bottom of Queensland, but not quite at the bottom.
Yeah.
It's southeast Queensland, but it's the tip of southeast Queensland. And then 2 hours south of me is Ryan. He lives in Brisbane. And then the other 2 live in Melbourne.
Oh, I have a friend from Brisbane.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I live not 2 hours north of there.
So rehearsal is just on tour, or how do you...
Rehearsal is usually we fly wherever we're going for 3 or 4 days beforehand and rehearse there. But we don't write together.
So you're the master of disaster.
Master of disaster?
No, but you choose. I guess well, you write your riff and the poetry, and then
I don't write any music. I write only the words.
So they have to deal with it.
Yeah, so the 2 guys that live in Melbourne write the music.
Yeah.
So they live near each other, so it's fine. So they get together, but Ryan is the drummer, so he doesn't write the music, and I don't even know how to play guitar. So I only just got a guitar before this tour to learn guitar. So.
What was the last album, or a proper, would you say, what's it called, when you have the whole album a theme, like...
Yeah, like a concept album.
Concept, is that a concept album?
What's the last one that I listened to? Or the one?
No, your last album.
Oh, right. Well, it's an accidental concept album. It's not on purpose. It's just my life went to shit, so it absolutely fell to pieces.
But why is that so big in your promo?
I don't know. Because, I don't know, that's how they want it to be. It's not my choice,
But why... How can't it be your choice?
It can be my choice, but I'm not opposed to it. It's just not something I would have pushed. And it is a concept album, so it's... if I argued against it just because I didn't come up with it...
Not in the concept of the album. I mean, you could have just said, fuck off, record company, that's my private life. I don't want to have this in my promo.
Yeah, I could have said that, but I would be arguing for the sake of arguing. I mean, it doesn't upset me that they've said it.
Okay.
It doesn't affect me either way, whether they say it or not. So, if it affected me, I would say fuck off, because we've never, ever let them dictate anything.
Okay.
So anything that comes out from them is run by us prior, and it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me if they want to say it's a concept album, because it is, but I just didn't come up with it as a concept, because that would be...
No, not a concept. You know, they wrote like on your website. It's like that's because I'm on radio station. No, it's nothing. But it says you went through lots of shit and yeah. That was it.
That's what happened. That's just the truth. And I write personal lyrics, so to get upset about them saying it's personal is like, that would be weird, don't you think? It's like...
No, but you could have said I leave that to the band. I don't want to have any like Britney Spears gossip shit or
I don't care though. I don't read it, so I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't exist on the internet, so I don't really get affected by much of it.
Okay.
I mean, obviously when a record comes out and people in that first week or two of like the talk about it, I can get caught up in a little bit of that, but for the most part I don't really pay attention or give a fuck to what's going on out there. That's just someone sitting in a room writing whatever they want.
Are you writing on tour?
Mm-hmm.
Is that like a new Happy Love album?
I don't know. Probably not. Just be a reflection on where I was and where I'm at, I suppose.
Did you bring lots of books? Are you interested in politics?
Yeah, I'm reading Who Runs the World by Noam Chomsky at the moment.
The Chomsky.
Yeah, but it's a bit hard to read because it's pretty enraging. So it's hard to get through without wanting to tear the book apart and set the fucking
you can make
world on
notes
fire.
with it. Like become a political band.
Yeah. We're not a political band. I don't.
Yeah.
What?
No, most metal bands not that. That's stupid. But
They don't care about politics.
The band.
I do. They don't. Yeah.
Did you read Naomi Klein as well? Naomi Klein?
No.
That she wrote No Logo after the Seattle riots.
Oh. No.
Yeah.
I haven't heard
She's
of
the
it.
younger, good-looking Noam Chomsky.
Right.
Yeah, it's like it's
Naomi Klein?
yeah.
Okay, I'll remember that.
Yeah. So I suppose you're not happy with the Trump.
I don't even know what to say about that.
Yeah.
What the fuck is... I don't know. I knew America was fucked, but that's next level. But they don't care. The people that voted him in don't even care that he's going back on everything he said. They don't... I don't know. It's depressing.
Was that always like that? Because I think that's the most thing is I'm not sure if that's because we get so much pressure from up, or so much violence that we just get more stupid or don't react at something like that.
Well,
you live on the countryside.
Chomsky talks about that in Manufactured Consent, and that's what's been happening since World War II. So, they're consistently defunding education and increasing funding for military spending.
But why? Is it the aliens or what?
Is it the aliens?
Yeah,
I don't know,
who
I
is
don't
it? The
think so.
reptiles or
Oh, the reptiles?
No, because
Right.
nobody could ever, even not Noam Chomsky, could give me a reason why. You know, like do they suck in like why?
It's like people are more comfortable to know what's happening in their little cornucopia. So if they know that they can go to work and come home and eat dinner and go to work and come home and eat dinner and go to work and come home and eat dinner, they're fine with that. If they don't have to know what these people are doing overseas and what these people that they're like surrendering to by leading a fairly ambivalent life, then it's better for them. People don't want to know. People do not want to know things that will upset.
No, well, I wanted to ask why not even people like Noam Chomsky or the reptile fans couldn't explain me why is there this consent thing and the pressure of the high people. What do they want?
Power. And they've got it.
For what's yeah.
For themselves, because they feel powerful, and power, that's why there's the word empowering. If you're empowered, you feel powerful, you feel good. If you and it's like a level thing. If you're the manager of a store, you feel empowered because you're the manager of 3 people. Then you've got a guy above you who is in charge of 30 people, and he feels better than you, and so on, all the way to the top.
But that would mean that power comes with negativity.
Of course it does.
So you're...
But not exclusively.
Okay. Yeah. Do you believe in aliens?
Statistically,
Yeah.
yes. But I don't know about ever like seeing one, or I don't know about the grey aliens coming to Earth to help NASA with their space projects or any of that. But statistically speaking, yes, I would say law of averages suggests there has to be.
Yeah, but it's really boring after a while when you are interested in that, because there's no point unless you see one to be interested in them, because then you just read about them.
Well, that's just people creating a separate reality for themselves.
Like Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah, basically. But believing in that. Like, seriously investing themselves into Hansel and Gretel.
How often have you been to Europe?
Every year since 2010.
No way, always on tour.
Always on tour.
What was this? So you did play really small venues.
Oh yeah.
Did you book a tour yourself and sleep on couches?
We slept in van and on floors, yeah.
In Berlin too?
Berlin we stayed in a hostel.
Where?
So all in a room. Yeah. We've done all that. We did all that in Australia up till we didn't have to, and then we started doing it again overseas, just for fun.
Huh.
So as soon as we could afford hotels in Australia, we started sleeping on floors in Europe and America. Fucking stupid.
Are you interested? Do you have other hobbies than writing? Yeah, when you write, you must read a lot.
Yeah.
We talked about this.
Yeah.
Did you? Wow, it's almost half an hour. Are you interested in astronomy or physics or something?
Look, I am interested in it, but I have the worst grasp on it. So, for whatever reason, I can understand like literature much easier than I can understand physics and science. So, I talked to my son about this, and I'm always like, make sure you pay attention, even if you're not super interested, because otherwise you'll be like me, and when I read an article, I'm like, whoa, that's amazing, but as I read the article, I need to start reading other articles to understand what a certain part of the article is talking about. So what is like a 10-minute read ends up being an hour read for me, because I have to connect all the dots in the article. So I'm very interested in it, but it's really hard for me to understand.
I saw a lecture the other day, and the man said that physics is so cool and astronomy because it's above politics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can't be controlled.
Yeah.
There's no... It is the law of everything.
Yeah.
And that's that, yeah. Yeah, that's fucking cool. That's so true. I think scientists are the real punk rockers these days, you know? Because people keep telling them, like, you know, for instance, global warming, and they're still just like, no, well, fuck you. This is happening, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, half of the corals in Australia, and there was the scientists in Australia who get drunk now every day, no?
Well, a lot of people do. I don't know. That's got nothing to do with anything, really. We've got... The mining industry runs our country, the same as fossil fuels runs America. So oil runs America, coal runs Australia. So you've got Gina Reinhardt is like one of the richest people on the planet. She owns all these mines in Australia. They run the country, basically. We've got a Prime Minister right now, Malcolm Turnbull, who believes in clean energy, but because he needs to toe the party line to maintain power, is just sucking the dick of big coal industry. So I don't know, man. The whole world is sort of going to shit right now. And it is, you know, like the right wing of the world is pretty much in power everywhere around, you know. It's even Justin Trudeau is in Canada is not as great as he looks on the surface. Obama was just full of really beautiful rhetoric, but sort of slid things under the radar. It's hard to think about.
So it's probably good to hang out all the time with your bandmates. Who's your bandmates? And introduce your bandmates.
Aaron is the singer. He's the pretty singer and the pretty boy. Kyle plays guitar. He's from Chicago. Dan is the guy that writes our songs with Aaron, plays guitar. And Ryan's our drummer, but he's gone home because he's having really horrible panic attacks. And then there's me.
No. Oh.
Yeah.
On stage? No. Panic.
Mm.
So, my dear. 30 seconds. Do you want to say something?
No, I'm good. It's been nice. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Right. Appreciate it.
This is the shore on 88.4, and the waves keep crushing in.